It was probably the low point of my staff career. But sometimes you're just in a situation and you have to trust God in that situation. When I was a fairly new staff member with Campus Crusade, I'd been on staff a couple years. I was ambitious. I wanted to be the campus director. I wanted to be on a big university campus. I got assigned to UC Irvine as the senior man, and with the idea of taking over the director's position because he was going to be leaving the country for an overseas assignment. So I was waiting to get this letter that would tell me that. The letter came and I opened it up, and all it said on there was that I'm not going to be the director at UC Irvine like I thought, but I'm going to be reassigned to another campus. And it was like a shock, and I thought, well, wait a minute, let's not get upset about this because probably just a misunderstanding. Somebody filled out the form wrong or something. So I called up my area director, Barry, and I said, Barry, I got this letter. And he goes, oh, no, they told me they're going to let me call you before they sent that letter. And then I thought, oh, no, this isn't good news. I've been looking forward to this for like several years. So it was kind of like that was a pretty big disappointment. But the whole thing was kind of like, a real crisis in your life. And of course, about that time, there was this girl that I was dating who I was really, we were getting fairly serious. And she said, oh, well, we'd have to break off our relationship. We're just not going to see each other anymore. So it's like, my life is like in chaos, everything that I want to do is kind of failing. So I show up on campus and it's pretty much of a downer of a year, like everything that I've been looking forward to is falling apart. But what I really had to struggle with at that time was, is God in control of my life? And I thought, okay, here's these staff. I don't think the people in HR are out to get me. It seems like there's been some decisions made with some faulty information. But it made me think, either God is in control or he's not in control. And I don't think everything has to work out right for God to be in control. And if it does, then there's not much hope, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that really have no concern whatsoever for my life that influence me, and they probably have my worst in mind. And if God can't control my life in spite of that, I'm sure that he can work to have the best of intentions. They're not out to get me. They want to do what they think is best for me in the ministry. So I think the thing that I really learned out of that whole experience was that, God's in control, and if we're just faithful, and sometimes we just have to be faithful, and things are not going the way we want them to. And if you're faithful in that situation, he will open up doors that you never expected. And certainly for me, I thought my life was going in a bad way, and God gave me a wonderful wife, and it's definitely worth not being the director at UC Irvine. That's, in hindsight, that isn't such an important thing. Having the wife I have is. And I think that really it's our experience that we learn that makes us effective for the future. It's not our positions. We tend to think it's our positions that make it possible for us to go, but it's really the things God does in our life that prepare us for the next step in our life. It's not how many hats we've worn or how many notches we have in our belt, but that's the way we tend to think of it. And we need to see every experience that we come into as God has a purpose in this. And when I learn what he's teaching me, then I'm ready to go on to the next step. So it was a very difficult time in my life, but I'm very thankful. God's in control, and we can trust him. And it was just a great lesson to learn, and it really has served me the rest of my life.